Good evening, Miles and CMF. Good to see you too. How you doing? How you doing? Evening. Hello, friends. Messi, good to see you as well. How you doing? Good evening, Miles and CMF. How you doing, Manny? Good to see you as well. Kim, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi, Miles and CMF. Kim, good to see you as well. Manny, good to see you as well. Dennis, good to see you as well. Funky brother, how you doing? Evening, brother Miles. Good to see you as well. How you doing? And thank you so much to everybody that's right now retweeting this live show. Thank you so much to everyone that's retweeting this live show right now, because it does help to spread the live show right at the beginning of live show on X. So everybody tunes in right at the beginning when you retweet this live show. Here we go. Also, today we have so much news to cover as well regarding what's happening inside the market space. And obviously the biggest news to go through on today's live show is HBAR as well. So we have news regarding Ripple Labs and we have news regarding HBAR. And two good scenarios on what's happening with HBAR to go through, which nobody's really pointed out. I mean, a major event has happened on HBAR, and a lot of people are talking about regarding HBAR right now and what's been happening around it regarding BlackRock, but nobody's talking about the other green light that's also happening inside the crypto space with this HBAR and BlackRock news. What do we have on the menu? Quite a lot of bits. So we have the XRP news regarding Ripple Labs and the SEC to go through, two parts regarding that. We have HBAR and BlackRock to obviously go through, because that is something quite big that's happening right now regarding tokenizations. We have the institutional digital assets, so the future of finance is here to go through as well regarding tokenizations and pretty much everything that's happening behind the sidelines regarding regulations. And so far that's happened regarding BlackRock and everybody else entering the crypto space, including banks, to go through some data. And it's always good to go through data because everybody then would know what's actually happening on a factual basis around the world in the blockchain space. We have news regarding BRICS to go through as well, regarding what's happening on BRICS so far. El Salvador, something quite major has happened in El Salvador, which is not good, which we'll go through as well. It's related to essentially Bitcoin. We also have news to go through regarding the SEC's comments on BlackRock's Ethereum ETF. So we do know that the Ethereum ETF is also on the way, and the SEC essentially made some comments about it, which we'll go through on today's live show. And also we have to go through regarding Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank has decided to change their opinions on regarding Ethereum ETFs. I'll tell you if it's good or bad when we get to the news. We have news regarding Venezuela as well, how Venezuela has decided to skip the sanctions they're essentially right now on, and to somehow skip these sanctions using a particular cryptocurrency to be able to do oil trades. Also, we're going to go through regarding Microsoft and the United Kingdom. Not only that the United Kingdom wants to become a crypto hub, but it also wants to become an AI hub, which we'll go through as well. Rishi Sunak's doing quite a bit for the UK right now, but things are progressing. We also have news regarding Fidelity to go through on today's live show as well. Some major things on regarding data, on regarding purchasing power coming in towards Fidelity's BTC ETFs. News regarding the US charities as well to go through, and how much money has entered US charities regarding cryptocurrencies. Now, you might think that's not major news regarding cryptocurrencies and US essentially charities, but that's at the end of the live show. But it is, because charities are a good way to clean. When we get to that news, I'll explain what I mean by clean. And also they're good for tax write-offs, but we get to it. Also, Paraguay, just some honorable mentions. Paraguay has decided to make cryptocurrencies a legal tender as well. Argentina is weighing into making crypto full legal tender as well. So honorable mentions regarding news as well. So welcome to the CMF live show. If you are new, let me just go for the comment section. George, hi Miles of CMF. Good to see you, George. How you doing? How you been? And that's what we have on the menu so far. Quite a bit to go through. Is it Tuesday's lives? As I can't see the live prompt. Yes, today is Tuesday's live. This is new live. Yesterday's live was episode 35. This is episode 36. So you're watching this live right now. This is not a repeat. Joe, good to see you as well. Evening, Miles of CMF. How you been? So We'll start off the live show, and one by one, I'm guessing everybody will tune in from the CMF. And thank you so much again to everybody that's retweeted this live show, because it does help to spread this live show right at the beginning. So, welcome to the CMF Live Show. If you are new, this live show, we talk about how the world is evolving into a digital space. We talk about the blockchain space, the CBDC space. We talk about recent news that's happening inside of this space right now. And we do Q&As, which means you ask the questions, I give you the answers. Now, essentially, the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. We also do go through political news as well, because it's very relatable to any sort of financial space. So if you're new, welcome to the CMF Live Show. If you're regular, let's go CMF. I'm going to start off the live show, and one by one, everyone should be tuning in. What's up, Miles? What's up, CMF? Kerry, good to see you as well. How you doing, Kerry? Perfect timing, as we're about to go through the first part of this live show, which is relatable to the XRP lawsuit. So, the XRP lawsuit sees unexpected twist as Ripple opposes the $2 billion fine demand. Now, we do know that the SEC is asking for $2 billion from Ripple Labs, but they're never going to get $2 billion from Ripple Labs. And the reason why the SEC will never get $2 billion from Ripple Labs is something that I said a while ago. A while ago, I said that Ripple conducts most of their businesses outside of the United States, which means that scope of money of XRP sold does not fall under what's happening in the US. Not only that, but I also mentioned regarding how XRP was brought by these institutions at essentially a very low price, and right now sitting at a much more higher price. Might not look like it's sitting at a higher price, but it is from the original sales, which means, again, that doesn't fall under the $2 billion fine. So there are two main equations that do not fall under the $2 billion fine regarding Ripple Labs, which we're going to be going through right now. These are things that I mentioned a while ago, and it's something that Ripple has decided to bring out as well. So, Ripple, the San Francisco-based blockchain company behind the cryptocurrency XRP, filed this opposition to the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Demand that the company pay nearly $2 billion in fines and penalties in a late Monday court filing. In its rebuttal, Ripple said the court should levy a civil penalty of not more than $10 million. Ripple has encountered the Securities and Exchange Commission's proposal seeking to close $2 billion from the fintech company. Last month, the SEC said it wanted Ripple to fork out $2 billion, including $876 million in distributions. Now, a civil penalty of $876 million and $198 million of prejudgments and interest in its proposed final judgment from the SEC. And as I said, there are two sides to every story when it comes to a court battle. We've heard the SEC sides, and now we're going to get some information regarding what Ripple thinks about this. In a 186-page court response on April 22nd, Ripple argued that the finance watchdogs has the burden to prove that the firm will violate federal security laws in the future. Moreover, the company's legal team contends that its institutional sales did not show reckless disregard for the law, essentially mentioning its interactions with other American regulators. These are some quotes that were mentioned inside of that document. Our opposition to the SEC's request for $2 billion in penalties for legacy institutional sales is now public. Ripple's legal head, Stewart Attorney, positioned itself inside of an X post he recently did. He said, in a case that had no allegations or findings of recklessness or fraud, and in which Ripple won on a significant issues, the SEC asked just more evidence of its ongoing against all of the crypto in the United States. We remain confident that the judge will approach this final remedies phase fairly, is what Ripple Labs' lawyers said. Now, also addressing the SEC's demand for the disagreement, the Ripple claims that the request is unwarranted because the regulators did not demonstrate that the company's institutional sales caused any sort of harm to investors, because it really didn't. Regarding the civil penalties, Ripple asserts that it should be closer to $10 million, not the $2 billion the SEC is asking for. The court should deny the SEC's request for injunction for disagreements and for prejudgment interest, and should impose a civil penalty of no more than $10 million, Ripple said in its opposition motion. Ripple revealed that it has changed the way it sells XRP after July 2023 court rulings. Ripple has publicly acknowledged that the rulings and does so again now. It has changed the way it sells XRP and changed its contracts to avoid the problems identified by this court, the company said on Monday. So that was Ripple's side of point of view, but also something other that we should be going for. That's something that's quite interesting regarding Ripple Labs and how they've been conducting their business on selling XRP, which I particularly think was a great business move. Very smart business move on regarding how Ripple sells their XRP, which is this. Ripple's president says Ripple itself has no ODL partners. Ripple's president says Ripple itself has no ODL partners. Now, you might be thinking, well, how does that make sense? Ripple has no ODL partners, so Ripple's not selling these, directly to people. So how is it going on? Well, it's like this. Monica Long, the president of Ripple, recently revealed that the company itself does not have any on-demand liquidity ODL partners. This disclosure came in Ripple's latest filings, which sought to oppose the SEC's motion for remedies and entry of for essentially final judgment. The Ripple president was one of the executives who testified to support the company's opposition to the SEC's request for approximately $2 billion in fines. Long's testimony held significant weight due to her 11-year involvement with Ripple and her current oversight of the company compliance and risk management community. In particular, Long's current role as president grants her familiarity with Ripple's XRP distribution. It includes present and past sale contracts concerning XRP and the context surrounding these transactions. Accordingly, the Ripple president testified to several developments related to the ongoing litigations, including Ripple's XRP distribution via the ODL partners, Ripple's XRP distribution via Singapore subsidiary. So this is how Ripple sells off essentially chips and starts moving those XRPs around. So this is how they do it. Long uncovered that when the SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple, the company's Singaporean subsidiary had already received authorization to sell XRP to ODL customers. It operated under a licensing waiver in accordance with Singaporean regulations. So, it turns out that the companies that Ripple are partnered with are the ones spreading essentially the XRP or the ODO system or the Ripple payment system. It's not Ripple itself that's selling these through themselves. It's the subsidiaries that are selling XRP and scenarios and so on. Following the SEC lawsuit, Ripple's Singaporean subsidiary became the primary entity responsible for entering into XRP sale contracts with new ODL customers. Ripple's subsidiary in Singapore, which essentially is doing all the contracts, is the one moving about the XRP, not Ripple Labs itself. So therefore, they're not doing any sales. Long highlighted that these contracts were executed in compliance with Ripple's licensing exemption until October 2023. By this time, Ripple's Singapore subsidiary had obtained a major payment institutional license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Now, I remember we talked about the Monetary Authority of Singapore in 2023, which came out and said Ripple Labs has now got a license from the Singaporean Monetary Authority, and it was big news in 2023. And now we know why Ripple did that move, because the subsidiary in Singapore is the one essentially selling these off. Now, by this time, so Ripple's Singaporean subsidiary had obtained a major payments institution license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. This authorization enabled to conduct digital payment token services. Coincidentally, this license governs the sales of XRP to ODL customers. Ripple itself has no ODL partners. Furthermore, the Ripple executive stressed that the contracts soliciting XRP sales from Ripple's Singaporean subsidiary to ODL customers explicitly specifies that they are subject to Singaporean law. So when Ripple's selling off XRP through Singapore, they're doing it under Singaporean law, which means Gary Gensler has no power over any of those sales. So hence, following a thorough investigation, Monica Long testified that all ODL customers of any Ripple subsidiaries utilizing XRP in the ODL product are outside the United States. All of the XRP subsidiaries are outside of the United States. Again, Gary Gensler's barking up the wrong tree. There's no money for him here. Except the 3 license exceptions, moreover, these ODL customers are considered sophisticated counterparties. Accordingly, Long stressed that Ripple itself, as a US-based entity, does not have any ODL customers, but its subsidiaries handles these sales. What a smart move from Ripple Labs. So This is why Ripple Labs, when the news came out in 2023, as I said, everything is coordinated inside of the corporate space, essentially. And when the news came out in 2023, when Ripple got a license from Singapore, the Singaporean Monetary Authority, Ripple got a license from, they created themselves a subsidiary in Singapore under Singaporean law with that license and started spreading the XRP from Singapore instead of the United States, which means all of those sales were outside of the United States. So technically, I feel like Gary Gensler is going to walk away empty-handed, or he's going to get a very, very, very small amount of money from Ripple Labs, because none of that is relatable to the United States in any sort of a way. And I did say that Ripple did say themselves they conduct most of their business outside of the United States. So that is great news. Let me just go through the conversation as well. Evening, Miles and CMF. Jason, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi, Miles. How are you? I'm doing great, Yaman. Khalid, good to see you as well. How you doing? Happy Sniper, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi, Big Bro. Camel, good to see you as well. How you doing? If I borrow 100,000 against my XRP, is it like a mortgage where I can get my XRP assets back when paid? Yes. When you pay your assets back, obviously, if you borrow against your XRP, you pay the money back. Of course, you would get your money back, your collateral back. In other words, your XRP. Hi, CMF. Rumi, good to see you as well. Yeah, so Paul, yes, you will get your assets back, definitely. Depends on where you borrow from. If you're borrowing it from a bank, then yes. So somewhere regulated, then yes, you'll definitely get your assets back. Fatty is a clown. XRP then, good to see you. How you doing? Gary, sorry. Bit confused now. Hi, Mouse and all in CMF. Just switching over to the laptop. Let's go, Adi. How you doing? Evening, Pure. Good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening, Miles and family. The only way is up. Let's go in. Paul, let's go. Morning, Miles and CMF. Shelly, good to see you as well. How you doing, Shelly? Morning. Gary and his clown lawyers. Good evening, CMF. Miles, hope you're all good, brother. I'm doing great. How you doing, Dazzle? Dazzle, how you been? Long time. How's things? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Hope all is well. Thanks, CMF, for advice and support earlier. Let's go, CMF, for helping out David. David, good to see you as well. All right. Finally, an audience talking crypto. The problem is you're talking Ripple XRP when that company is trash in 2017. And this is 2024. Why not talk about SUI and just Bitcoin? Well, because I'm from the corporate sector, and I'm guessing have you ever read a PDF document from Ripple? I talk about all crypto projects, just to point out. I talk about all crypto projects in general, but I do talk about what's actually happening inside the market space. I'm from the corporate sector, and I understand market movements regarding narratives and how markets are coordinated on specific things regarding PDF documentations. So that's why I'm talking about Ripple Labs, and it's because it's called the news. I don't censor the news I come out with. This is X. On X, you don't censor news. But good to see you. How you doing? Welcome to the show. You're the best, brother Miles. Let's go, Abel. So how long before we can expect closure on the lawsuit? This year. This year is gone. My brother, I purchased my XRP using USDT. If USDT goes down, will that affect my purchase of XRP? I'm worried, thank you. No, if USDT goes down, it does not affect your XRP purchases in any sort of a way. Hello, Miles and family. Troy, good to see you as well. How you doing? Abel, you have nothing to worry about. That's true, what Romy said. Facts. Hello to all. And CMF on X and YouTube family. Let's go, Shelly. Gary Gensler will either resign or he will be thrown out. Shelly, let's go. Happy Pisces. Good to see you as well. How you doing? Miles, if I was to borrow 100,000 against my XRP, how many XRP do I need to put down? Depends on the price at that moment in time when you do borrow against it. Essentially is what it depends on. So yeah, now, the biggest news to go through. One of the biggest news that came out today was this. Hedera. Absolutely massive news regarding Hedera, but two things to point out as well. I love when someone challenges Miles on live. Someone challenges Miles live. Let's go. Breaking news. Hedera and Archax, which is a British company essentially, enable first tokenized BlackRock MMF shares. ArchX, a digital asset exchange, broker, and custodian based in London, has expanded its tokenization services to the BlackRock ICS US Treasury Money Market Fund, the MMF. This undertaking is implemented in corporations with the HBAR Foundation and is a major step forward essentially in the merging of traditional financial assets with the blockchain technology space. It is really major, massive news right now. ArchX, the first FCA regulated entity of its kind, has tokenized money market funds from ArchX in the past, working with both Hedera and Ethereum blockchains. The conclusion of the MMF of BlackRock into its online platform provides new options for liquidity and investment. The process of tokenization enables MMF shares to be traded on the ArchX platform and via connected networks, thus increasing accessibility to institutional and professional clients. This initial transaction of these tokenized shares was performed through Onward, essentially thin P2P digital asset networks, demonstrating the real-world utility of this emerging technology in today's market environment. The digital and blockchain integration of traditional money market funds, as a result, gave a safe and essentially smooth way to which financial institutions will be managing and trading. Benefits of BlackRock MMF tokenization. The tokenization of money market funds essentially is what the MMF stands for. For example, BlackRock funds are also bring several benefits. In an environment with high interest rates, the liquidity felicity of being able to trade MMF shares quickly and safely becomes an attractive alternative. According to Graham Rodford, the CEO and co-founder of ArchX, an addition of more funds to our portfolio of tokenized MMF shares makes the range we have more extensive and allows us to offer our services to a wide target audience. Additionally, the secondary market for such tokenized instruments provides the felicity of almost instant transfers of MMF shares all day long, which can also be used for collateral movements rather than only typical buying and selling. Such kind of flexibility and average efficiency is the main thing essentially in digital and technologies continuing to change the financial industry. The cooperation between ArchX, Onward, and the usage of Hedera network plays a key role in the successful implementation of this new product. The technology of Onward that consists of buy-side routers allows a broad spectrum of financial institutions from banks to wealth managers to smoothly interact with tokenized MMFs. The need for this integration was underlined by Ben David, CEO and co-founder of Onward, in the framework of a global vision of the ecosystem for institutional tokenized assets. Shane Hidigan, the CEO of HBAR Foundation, commented on the initiative. The addition of MMF shares tokenized on Hedera enabled by ArchX is a huge vote of confidence. Hedera's technology, moreover, is celebrated for its fast, security, and cost efficiency, making it an ideal platform for institutional-grade tokenization. Now, two things to point out. Technically, it's not BlackRock who gave the green light to this partnership. Now, you could say BlackRock maybe give the green lights on the sidelines to this Hedera partnership with ArchX because they are operating, but it's technically ArchX and Hedera, and it's not BlackRock and Hedera, just to point out as well. Some people, I thought at the beginning when the news came out, it was BlackRock and Hedera, and I read it more into it. It's not technically BlackRock giving a green light to Hedera, so HBAR, but it is ArchX giving a green light to Hedera to be able to operate on those tokenized shares. So that, I think, is great for Hedera. Either way, it's good news, is what it is. But it's not BlackRock giving a massive green light. And it could be behind the sidelines, but on the scenes, it's not BlackRock, it's ArchX that's giving a green light for tokenized assets on BlackRock's essentially side. But again, massive news. But it also shows another thing, the second point I was going to make. It shows that it doesn't have to be just one chain for the tokenizations of these, tokenized funds from BlackRock. So BlackRock originally has their own Ethereum tokenized fund. And now there's a counterpart of HBAR tokenized on BlackRock as well. So that means that we can look to essentially the same company tokenizing on multiple chains, the same institution choosing multiple platforms at the same time going forward and tokenizing them. So just because, for example, BlackRock is started with Ethereum, it doesn't mean they're going to be ending with Ethereum, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be not expanding outside of Ethereum if it's regarding tokenization. So What I'm trying to say is BlackRock hasn't just went only Ethereum for life when we do tokenizations. This just shows that there are other ways to enter this tokenization field with institutions like BlackRock by going through our checks, essentially. So that's why it's a good news, because it means other crypto projects can also join this tokenization wave of BlackRock, not just Ethereum. That's the second positive about it. So let's go back to the comment section before we go to the next news. By the way, if you're also watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF live show every single night. This is episode 36 on X Live and YouTube Live. That's where the comments are mixed, YouTube and X. I love when someone, Miles, let's go. What up, Miles and family? Ray, good to see you as well. How you doing, Ray? How you been? So, say it was XRP's price was at £1. XRP's price was at £1. You won't be able to get 100,000. They'll give you a little bit less than 100,000 more borrow against your assets. You wouldn't get the amount you're requesting, a little bit less you would get, essentially. Miles always gives them a roasting. Lol, that's what happens when you speak facts, Miles. Let's go. Hi there, bright side. Troy, I read your comments. So, Shelly, let's go. If XRP was £1 and I need to borrow 100,000, you get a little bit less than 100,000, not exactly 100,000. Good evening, Miles and family. Depends on the relationship you have with the banking institution at that time. Orphan, good to see you. How you doing? Miles, you ever thought of going on a mastermind specialist subject, cryptocurrency? Never came to mind. No, I'll be honest. Never came to mind. Good morning. I just read somebody else's comment. So this means HBAR will definitely surpass its all-time high of 50 cents. Yes, it has to at this point, depending on how further it goes down the line. Hi, Miles and family. Mike, good to see you. How you doing? I'll be honest, right before this news, I did increase my position on HBAR as well. We'll put it on a long-term hold, an actual long-term hold. That's something maybe I could borrow against one day as well. If borrowing against XRP, how does any price change affect the loan after completion? Expand, please. If borrowing against XRP, how does any price change affect the loan after completion? Expands, please. Well, the place that you're borrowing from is technically accepting those risks that there's going to be price fluctuations. So it depends on how much they give you. That's why I say, if you ask for 100,000, they're not going to be giving you 100,000 as an equal 1-to-1 ratio of what you're holding. So let's say if you want to borrow 100,000, you have to be providing them at least with 200,000, for example, or 150,000 if you want 100,000. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio if you want to borrow against banks. But if you build that relationship with the banks to borrow against your assets and skip on tax, essentially, is what it is when you borrow against your crypto assets. If anybody's watching this for the first time, it's the easiest way to skip on tax on crypto, and a very legal way as well. You wouldn't get the amount that you're requesting. So if you want to borrow 100,000, provide 150,000 collateral, or 200,000, depending on the relationship you have with the bank. They wouldn't give you a 1-to-1 ratio. Ethereum is ridiculous fees. Yes, Ethereum does have ridiculous fees. I agree with that 1,000,000%. Even Miles the CMF, Pierce, good to see as well. How you doing? But the bank initially would essentially accept those fluctuation of prices. When will Ripple's active the lending and borrowing features? Yes, that will be different. Now, regarding XRP Ledger itself, that's going to be different. So the XRP Ledger itself is going to also go into lending and borrowing. That'll be a little bit different. Then you could borrow closer to a 1-to-1 ratio, or even a 1-to-1 ratio, depending on how they essentially put that code forward. So your best bet would be to borrow against your crypto assets on the XRP Ledger when the XRP Ledger comes out with that on their own chain. That would be your best bet, rather going to a bank. That's what I needed to know, Brother Miles, against the Bronx. Thanks for the clarification. No problem, Funky Brother, anytime. So, next news to go through. This one, everybody needs to know about. If you're inside the crypto space, you need to know about these things that's happened and is going to be happening inside the crypto space. Now, these are all statements and facts, essentially from high-profile institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, and so on, which we're about to go through right now. Institutional digital assets. The future of finance is here, which is true. Tokenization initiatives from BlackRock, JP Morgan, and others presage a revolution in payments, wealth management, and other key activities of Wall Street, says author Anis Osborne. A crypto year is often said to pack 1 year of innovation into a time span that would normally take 7. like dog years. That said, institutions don't move in crypto years. That is a very key point that's just being made right now. Institutions don't move in crypto years. In other words, the institutions came into the crypto space and disrupted the flow of historic patterns because historic patterns aren't playing out anymore. The exact same day, BlackRock, Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, you name it, entered the crypto space and is still entering the crypto space regarding institutions and banks. They disrupted the historic patterns the crypto space tends to go through, with Bitcoin doing new heights before the Bitcoin halving, incredible new heights before the Bitcoin halving. With after the Bitcoin halving, the market hasn't collapsed in any sort of a way. It's actually stabilized and started to pick up by 1 to 2% and stabilized again. And that's because, perfect point made here, institutions don't move in crypto years because they don't come in for the short-term play. Institutions come in for the long-term play, which means they invest 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, 1 billion. I mean, BlackRock is deep in $18 billion right now regarding their BTC ETFs. And they're coming in to hold, not to play around and buy and sell for a quick profit. The reason why the market's been disrupted and the flow isn't following historic patterns is because these institutions aren't playing by the rules. They're coming in to hold long term, while everybody else enters the crypto space from the retail section to play the short term game. That's why the pattern's been disrupted from historic patterns. So, when adopting innovation, another great point as well, they test and slowly build behind the scenes, and those projects are starting to bloom, just like spring flowers on cherry blossoms. Great quote. But it's also true as well, because we are moving into the second stage, essentially. The second stage, which is what? Utility. What's the main purpose of crypto? The issue is a lot of people have forgot what the main purpose of crypto is. Even people who have been in the crypto space have forgot about the main purpose of crypto. The main purpose of crypto is not, going for zoo animal tokens, is not going for the next gem that comes out of nowhere and essentially tanks the next day. It's not about going for Pepe's granddad or Pepe's cousin. The main purpose of cryptocurrencies isn't even a Ponzi scheme, as a lot of people claim these days. The main purpose of cryptocurrencies was utility. And the utility is being used right now in front of your own eyes, and nobody's paying attention. Slowly being used. By the way, this is all the things that I've said in 2023, and it's been repeated by high-profile institutions in 2024. The most recent headlines was BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, joining forward-thinking business minds in launching a blockchain-based tokenized fund backed by US Treasuries build, and on a public blockchain to boot. Giants like Franklin Templeton, Hamilton Lane, and Wisdom Tree have tokenized 40 Act funds. KKR, Apollo, and Hamilton Lane have also tokenized private equity funds. These are things that you should know if you're inside the crypto space. Tokenizations of the repo market and real cost savings has been shown by JP Morgan. Society General, HSBC, and the European Bank have issued tokenized bonds. These are only a few, which is also true because there's a lot more. The list is much more longer. Many proof of concepts are being done, like Citi, Wisdom Tree, and Wellington's collaboration in the private market space. Projects like Guardian brings together numerous banks and counterparties to revolutionize wealth management. Many institutions have experimented in settlements and clearing, including DTCC, Swift, BlackRock, Barclays, JP Morgan, Citi, and Vanguard. The list is more expensive, but you get the picture. Advances have been and are being made to capital market efficiencies through the use of blockchain technology and digital assets. This is not a passing fad. This is here to stay. These institutions are coming into the crypto space, disrupting the entire historic patterns because they're coming in for long term, they're coming in to build, they're coming in for utility. And still nobody's paying attention. Everybody's trying to chase Pepe's granddad or Pepe's stepbrother, Pepe's stepsister. You gotta let it go at one point. Let's dive in to key use cases. 1. Digital money or stablecoin. And 2. The tokenization of traditional investment opportunities, often referred to as real-world assets. Stablecoins, just like Lightning. Stablecoins are a cryptocurrency designed to have a stable value, typically backed by a currency or a bucket of stable assets. The backbone of capital markets is money, and stablecoins is a digital replication of money. Stablecoins, as all cryptocurrencies, transfers ownerships immediately as opposed to later settlements or a float. They also are programmable. The stablecoin market cap sizable is right now sitting $157 billion. The resilience on cash or fiat money has significantly decreased since the adoption of credit cards and the movement towards debit cards and mobile wallets, which is also true. Do you know exactly when essentially everybody moved away from cash? COVID. COVID was the movement that everybody made away from cash because apparently it carries germs. That was according to a study test as well. For point of sales retail in 2023, US cash payments accounts for only 12% of transactions. 12% of transactions were only cash payments inside the United States. Most bank transfers, salary payments, and bills are a series of numbers transferred between banks and accounts, as opposed to a truckload of $100 bills or gold bars. How much cash do you keep on hand? More importantly, financial markets are global. Stablecoins open the window for 24/7, 365 market hours. The institutional interest in stablecoins can be highlighted by settlement, treasury management, and cross-border payments. The Fed is offering an instant payment service, FedNow, the banks, which highlights the float period of money transfers in an issue. The rollout has had mixed reviews and does not offer the flexibility of programmable money in terms of stable coins. The Fed and the Treasury Secretary have been looking into central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which essentially will be digital assets, which is also true. The Fed is looking into central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, even though the Fed came out once on news and said, no, the Fed is not looking into CBDCs behind the sidelines. This is what the Fed said on a speech. They came out, and Jerome Powell, he came out and he said, no, there is no conspiracy behind CBDCs inside the United States. Nobody's working on CBDCs in the United States. This is what he said. 2 days later, pamphlets and leaflets were sent to politicians, and it said key points, CBDCs. From who? The Fed. JP Morgan has had an internal stablecoin, JP Morgan coin, backed by deposit receipts that can be used inside the bank for payment transfers and settlements. Transaction volume of JP Morgan coin has hit 1 day, with savings reported in repo transactions of $20 million. Societe Generale has launched a euro-dominated stablecoin, SG Forge, which is on a public blockchain and available on Bitstamps exchange. This is a major bank in Europe, building on Build, with the world's largest asset manager tokenizing their first fund. Markets are starting to pay attention. When BlackRock makes moves in any market space, every single institution on this planet pays attention to what BlackRock does. And that's not a joke, and that's not, hyping up BlackRock in any sort of a way, but that is very, very factually true. When BlackRock makes moves in any sort of financial market space, everybody starts looking. JP Morgan starts looking. Citibank starts looking. Goldman Sachs starts looking. Vanguard starts looking. Fidelity starts looking. Greystone starts looking. Everybody looks the moment somebody like BlackRock does any sort of movements in any sort of market space. So, factual. So, with the markets are starting to pay attention, tokenization details issuing, essentially, tokenization entitles issuing a digital representation of an asset or an instrument. It is exciting to see institutions create as a reality what the digital asset world has been talking about since 2018, which is also true. Since 2018, everybody's been talking inside the crypto space about utility. Since 2018, everybody's talked about utility. And now that we're in utility, the crypto space has forgot about it. The crypto space in 2018 was all about utility. 2019, utility. 2020, utility. After 2020, something changed. Everybody inside the crypto space after 2020 just decided to go for Pepe's cousin, Pepe's mother, Pepe's granddad, and so on and so on, and all the zoo animal tokens. And everybody just kept on forgotten year on year on year about utility. And now that we're in utility, the retail section is nowhere to be seen. The retail section is too busy on the next zoo animal token that comes out, while institutions are preparing themselves for tokenizations, going long term on crypto projects, building on them. Their main purpose was utility. Everybody forgot about this. The initial sizable steps being made are tokenizations of 40 Act funds, with the thought process for improved efficiency. Tokenized US Treasury funds have surpassed $1 billion. Franklin Templeton reports that 40 Act funds continues to see operational efficiencies through the use of blockchain integrated systems, including increased security, faster transactions, processing, and reduced costs, benefiting fund shareholders. Tokenized bonds have been more prevalent outside the US due to regulatory uncertainties. Obviously, Weasel Gary Gensler. But on the other side of the world, HSBC tokenized Hong Kong's $600 billion government bond issue in 4 different currencies. That's what HSBC Bank did in Hong Kong. Tokenized the Hong Kong, essentially, government bonds in 4 different types of currencies on the blockchain. $600 billion that was. Again, nobody's paying attention to it because everybody's focused on Pepe's cousin. The natively digital bond decreases settlement time to 1 day, T+1, from 5 T+5. Rating agencies, Moody's, has rated a number of tokenized bonds, adding legitimacy. Do you know how much of a big news that is? Now, keeping aside, Moody's is the reason why 2008 crash happened, because Moody's kept on telling these banks and institutions and the government, everything's good, don't worry about it, and then 2008 crash happened. But Moody's still has that legitimacy within the corporate sector. BlackRock still listens to Moody's. JP Morgan still listens to Moody's. The Feds still listen to Moody's. And Moody's is coming out and saying, essentially, they're giving ratings out to tokenization. Tokenized mortgages have shown up in the US. The largest in the space is Figure Technologies, who not only tokenize halos and mortgages, but has done a rated tokenization situation. They have also launched their DOT system, which is both Lian and E-Note registries to disrupt the current monopoly of MERS, and has on the $19.3 trillion, 19.3 trillion US dollars mortgage market they've entered into for tokenization, 19.3 trillion. Even investment banks are offering their clients tokenization services, most notably Citi and Goldman. And this is just the beginning. Also facts, because day by day we have more European banks coming in getting crypto licensing. Day by day. And the recent one, as I've mentioned before, the recent one was Germany. A German federal bank, 333 billion euros assets under management, AUM, entered the crypto space. They partnered with Bitstamp, 3-year contract, and entered the crypto space. And what do you think they're going to do with their federal bank? Tokenize their bonds, offer crypto services, trading, selling, buying, lending, borrowing. This is what people inside the crypto section, regarding the retail section, should be focused on right now. Everybody talks about, we follow the market narrative, market narrative, market narrative. The majority of the crypto space is not following the market narrative. There are people inside the crypto space mocking the institutions for being inside the crypto space, saying the game is done, the institutions are here, everybody run for your lives. The reason why everybody was sitting on profits was because of the institutions. The reason Bitcoin did new heights was because of the institutions. At that moment in time, the reason why you were sitting on profits was because of BlackRock, Fidelity, and everybody else pretty much. You should not be running for your life. You should be running towards the institutions and start looking at, essentially, what they're going for. Look at the institutions. Look at the contracts they're doing. Look at what tokenization projects they're choosing. Look at what testings they're doing, because testings could lead to contracts. And contracts, well, you know what happens after that. I'm telling you, the majority of the crypto space is too focused, the retail section, the majority of it is too focused on the next zoo animal token, camel token, frog token, dog token, cat token, or Pepe's cousin and Pepe's granddad. While on the other side, the institutions are coming in, buying coordinated assets, essentially, and putting them in their long-term holds. 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 50 years, who knows? BlackRock could be holding their crypto assets for 100 years. Crypto section holds a crypto asset for a space of 6 months. And that's why, because as I always say, the institutional space, the mindset they have is money's not made overnight, money's made over time. The retail section has the mindset of, I'm going to become a millionaire tomorrow. The institutions see it as 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, 100 years. They're in. Not it takes 100 years for them to make money, but they're going to be in on that particular project for a good 100 years. So you want to be in that particular crypto project before they come into it for 100 years. Not focusing on Pepe's cousin. You've got to come back to reality and realize crypto is not a Ponzi scheme. Some people in the crypto space right now still calling crypto a Ponzi scheme, who are actually people inside the crypto space. They're calling it a Ponzi scheme. They're saying crypto is all about buy and sell. Let's make a quick money in turnarounds. The institutions are coming. Run for your lives. Let's just make that quick money. No. The only reason you were in profit was because of the institutions. And don't forget the main purpose, utility. So since day one, the main purpose of crypto was utility. Let's go to the comment section. By the way, if you're new to this live show as well, welcome to the CMF live show. Where we do this live show every single night. This is episode 36. I used to do this live show for over a year on TikTok Live, but now we do it on X because we have freedom of speech because of Elon Musk. So thank you, Elon Musk, for giving us freedom of speech. We're also live on YouTube at the same time as well. And we do this live show. It's like a late crypto live show. We talk about what's happening around the world regarding the news, regarding politics, blockchain, CBDCs, and we do Q&As, which means if you have a question and you're stuck on something, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you out. If you're wondering who am I and why do I get to answer people's questions? Well, my background is in business, finance, tech, law, and cybersecurity. I also own a blockchain startup company, which I don't have any tokens. I'm not selling anything either. I believe that education should remain free at all times. That's what I believe, and that's what I've stuck by for the longest time, and I will always stick by it. Education needs to remain free. So don't worry, I will never charge you. This is completely free. I've been doing this for over a year now, completely for free. Haven't made a single penny from doing any of these live shows. I do it because I care. It brings me joy when I help people. So if you enjoy this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and get inside the comment section, start communicating with the rest of the members from the CMF. And if you want to become a member of this live show as well, completely free. It's free for life. You can join the Telegram group as well. The link is on my X profile and my YouTube profile as well, if you're watching this on YouTube. All good, brother Miles. Just finishing up some old work as I need to complete. Let's go, Dazzle. It's good to see you, brother. Ethereum is ridiculous on fees. Yes, that's true. Facts. When will Ripple? I've read that. And I read everybody's comments one by one as well. Also, the people I have around me inside the crypto space, I work with essentially Binance executives, executives from MEXC Exchange as well, executives from many institutions out there. Also, acquaintances of the people that started the Graph project, developers of Flare. I pretty much have, a lot of people inside the crypto industry, high-profile people inside the crypto industry around me as well, which in my background helps a lot as well. So I can really help you out if you do have any questions, is what I am trying to say. So put it down inside the comment section if you have any questions. That's what I need to know, brother Miles, against the wrong thing. No problem. Okay. Your honest price predictions for ACH by the end of 2025, in your opinion, Miles, not financial advice. Depends on the adoption rate. Any crypto project, it depends on the adoption rate. So ACH has a lot of money transfer licensings. They have a lot of transfer licensings. They have an immense list of partnerships, but ACH, I hold it myself. I just wish they got off the Ethereum chain, or at least move to BNB alongside it, because Ethereum is so ridiculously high regarding fees. Uh, Look, if they get the correct adoption, they could be sitting anywhere around 10, 20, 30, 40, even higher if they get the correct adoption rate. The correct adoption rate is all that matters. Personal opinion, not financial opinion. So based on the good news of HBAR, even though it's a green for, yeah, facts. Let's go, Dazzle. Miles, you've been saying this since late last year, bro. All facts. Let's go, funky brother. Which is also true. Seen someone saying on YouTube ACH will hit 17 cents this run. Yeah, that person on YouTube hasn't seen their partnership list. And by the way, I've said this as well. Again, it's not about historic patterns. Put the historic pattern mindset to one set. Okay, just put it to one side. The historic mindset that you still have about the crypto space, it's 4 years only, 4 years only, 4 years only. Bitcoin halving happens, everything goes, or before Bitcoin halving, that doesn't happen, or after that doesn't happen. Just put all of that mindset you have from the historic patterns and everything else on one side. Because the market has changed completely. With the institutions, the banks, the regulations, and day by day, more banks are entering, more institutions are entering, more regulations are coming, more ETFs, more ETPs, more ETNs, more tokenization projects. A lot of things are happening inside the corporate space, and you need to start paying attention to all of them. So put that historic thought pattern you have just to one side. Because the reason why I said this is because every year we're going to be going higher and higher. Because the utility projects, by the way, let me just point out, I'm not talking about the zoo animal tokens. I'm talking about the utility projects. Every year we're going to be going higher, up and up and up and up. Because we're going into the era of the world essentially shifting into a digital era. 2024 is the start of the world shifting into a digital era. And you saw that happen with your own two eyes when BlackRock, the same company that called crypto a Ponzi scheme, is inside the crypto space with a tokenization fund, with an ETF, and more things on the way. With Citibank inside the crypto space, with Goldman Sachs in the crypto space, JP Morgan in the crypto space, doing $1 billion on transactions a day. And the list goes on with the institutions and banks around the world, by the way. But we're going to be going higher and higher and higher every year. Now, during the higher and higher and higher every year, we're going to be going through corrections and pullbacks and manipulations, yes. Because the more institutions in play, the more essentially manipulation is going to be there. But also a lot more money is going to be there. Because we're shifting into a digital era. It's no longer buy, sell from the retail section. It's institutions. They come, they buy, 5 million, 10 million, 20. Okay, just to put in perspective. Today, just to put that into perspective regarding what I just said right now. So, today, for example, Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF draws $40 million in largest single investment from advisors. Somebody made a single investment of $40 million, the largest of a single investment ever happened, in Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF. Now, do you think this was a random person, a wealthy person? No. According to data from investment research from Fintel, Bitcoin BTC represents 6% and 5% of the fund's portfolio, respectively. Bloomberg's Eric believes the figures indicate a growing adoption among traditional investors. This is a boomer as it gets, he noted on X in reference to the United Capital Management of Kansas. Likely a wonderful sight for those hoping to see a long-term adoption and an absolute nightmare for the ROI skeptics, branch of an underwhelmers club, he added. However, the recent disclosures have prompted some to express concerns regarding the limited mainstream participations in BTC ETFs. Jim Binko, founder of macro research firm Binko Research, described the first quarter allocation data as a disappointment when it first came out regarding ETFs, but obviously tables changed because of grayscale. Unrealized gains are shrinking fast, he added, referring to ETF investors' gains versus current Bitcoin prices. Fidelity's BTC fund is the second largest Bitcoin ETF in terms of assets under management, with over $10 billion at the time of writing, just behind BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT, which holds more than $18 billion. BlackRock right now sitting on $18 billion. Despite the newcomers and growing adoptions among traditional investors, Bitcoin ETFs are experiencing a slowdown in demand, which they're not right now anymore. CEO K. Young noted on X that the demand for BTC funds has staggered, essentially, and went up. We saw the peak happening more. Now, on April 15th, Bitcoin ETFs experienced an outflows of $36.7 million. According to Foresight investors, only Grayscale and BlackRock recorded positives flows on April 12th and April 15th, while other funds saw outflows. Now, the point what I was trying to get to was the point, essentially, that when we go a little bit further down, regarding $220 million. It was technically $220 million from one institution that invested into Bitcoin ETFs on Fidelity. One institution came in, essentially made two purchases of $20 million. And they're keeping it on the sidelines. One institution came in, $220 million, dropped it. BTC ETF for Fidelity. Do you think they're coming in for a quick sale and quick profit? No. They're coming in for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years plus. And when institutions do movements like this, it disrupts all the historic patterns. Everybody inside the crypto space told you after the Bitcoin halving, the crypto market was going to do what? Everybody inside the crypto space, the majority of everybody inside the crypto space told you Bitcoin halving will happen, and just like before, the market will go. Did the market go after the Bitcoin halving? No. Stayed relatively the same. You know why? Because BlackRock went from $12 billion on BTC ETF funds to $18 billion. You want to know why? Because Fidelity is breaking records. You want to know why? Because Grayscale is offering now their mini Bitcoin trust 0.15% on ETF fees. You want to know why? Because Van Eck is offering a 0% fee for 1 year on their BTC ETFs. That was extremely weird. You're back, you're back, you're back. Okay, we're back. Good. Back now. You're back, Miles. Great. What happened? I have no idea what happened. Maybe again I said too much and I shouldn't have said too much. COVID was red. Yep. Okay, we are here. We were here at this question regarding. I have no idea which regarding what platform. Was it X or YouTube that did this to me? Okay, personal opinion, not financial opinion. So based on good news of HBOT, yes, good facts. Let's go. Miles, you've been saying this last year. Yep, true. Facts. Seen someone saying on YouTube, no, they were right. Facts. That's all true. Let's go. Dazzle. How are you, Miles? I'm doing great, Lena. How you doing? I'm just going for the quickly for the comment section as well. HBOT is on the way to the moon, 015 right now. Let's go for HBOT. COVID was a red herring to put this CBDC in place. We are all fools, pretty much. Hi, Miles and CMF. Good to see you as well. How you doing, Kanan? Massive news regarding HBOT. Yes, Ian, good to see you as well. Pep gonna choke like a big dog one day, and people are going to wonder what happened to their money. Yep. Everyone thinks I'm stupid, but I'm clued up with XRP. Let's go. Do you think it's good time to buy HBOT? Relatively still cheap. You might want to wait for, if you want to pull back, but relatively still cheap. Regarding the new partnership they had, but don't chase green candles is what I would say. Also, I'm full. I'm a full holding for 7 years XRP. Definitely not. Evening, everyone. Sorry, eating dinner from Semper. Good to see you. How you doing? That was funny, Miles. Let's go, Dazzle. Hi, Miles and CMF family. Is it good to be here at the CMF live show? Yes, it is time to turn on my CMF TV. Let's go. Elon, thank you. Let's go. Do you think the SEC will accept $10 million offer from Ripple? They have no choice if it comes down to that section, essentially. 7 days from episode 400. 7 days from episode 400. Let's go. Hello, Miles. How are you? And CMF family, KDC, I'm doing great. Good to see you as well. How you doing? The judge will say no fines. I received a message from Coinbase on my account. I'm living in France after being in the UK. They asked me to change my crypto asset in BTC or to convert any asset into Euro and close my Coinbase account. What should I do? Move your assets out of Coinbase. I can't transfer my cryptos to an external account. You can't transfer your cryptos to an external account. I received a message from Coinbase on my account. I'm living in France. After being in the UK, they asked me to change my crypto assets into BTC or to convert my assets into a Euro and close my Coinbase account. Convert your assets into Euro and then close your account. So convert your assets to Euro, change it back into fiat, and close your account down and move over to a new account if you can't make transfers on crypto. Thanks, Miles. Everything has changed. Let's go XRP then. Carl, can't you put it in a cold wallet? That's what I was wondering as well. Different world. Yep. I haven't tried yet, but I can't put them in a trust wallet or even MetaMask. That's quite weird. You're gone. You disappeared. Where did you go? I'm back. You went black. You timed out or paused. This happened before. You should come back in a few seconds. Yep. Back now. Back now. You're back now. What happened? I have no idea what happened. And regarding was it X or YouTube? Still no idea. You've lost your background, etc. Yes, I have. Fine again. Are you being censored, Miles? I have no idea. BlackRock did it. YouTube, that keeps happening, and the crypto gods are keeping an eye on you. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Every time I talk too much, something happens regarding this live show. So every time I say too much, it just cuts me off. If I don't say anything and I just, make a normal live show, don't talk about what's actually happening inside the crypto space, nothing happens. The live show is smooth. There's no issues. But the moment I talk too much, it suddenly cuts out. Ripple will never agree to 2 billion. Between X and TikTok is coming up to 400 episodes. Between X and TikTok is coming up to 400 episodes. Let's go. Ripple will never agree. Ripple will never agree to $2 billion, just like the SEC will never agree to $10 million. It's just for play, pretty much. That sounds really sus with Carl's Coinbase. I'll be contacting support first. Same. Actually, Carl, why don't you contact support? Have you contacted support after receiving that email? Good point, Shelly. Have you contacted customer support regarding Coinbase? Does sound quite sus. I think around $100 million. You think Ripple will be paying $100 million? Well, we have to see. It does come to the judge's final verdict. It's got to be YouTube. Is it only started when you went to YouTube as well? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. When I used to only do X live shows, I was free to say whatever I want. That never happened. When I started doing YouTube live shows as well at the same time as X, I think that's when it started to happen. Maybe it's YouTube. This is crazy. Like true freedom of speech is a myth. Yeah. It's very, very weird. If I say normal things on this live show, smoothest live show ever, nothing happens. Start saying too much, suddenly this happens. It just completely cuts me out and it goes on a black screen. Might be YouTube. I don't know. Because I am live on both. Or it could be the platform I'm using as well that's doing this to me every time I say something. But anyways, let's go back to the live show. Miles, your opinion, will the SEC and Ripple case be over this year? Should be, because the market narrative is playing in that manner. So it should be, yes. Now, also to go through on today's live show is these things. So we talked about what's happening inside the market space with all the information, data, and so on. Now, something else is happening inside of El Salvador. which nobody's talking about it and isn't quite good at all. No, I will do it. I got a Coinbase card, so if I close my UK account, will I be able to get a Coinbase card shipped to France, Caribbean? Carl, before you do anything, contact customer support. Before you do anything, contact the customer support on Coinbase. Ask them as many questions as you may have. Get a response from them and then move forward. Oh no, don't say that. I prefer YouTube so I can minimize my screen at work in the background. I can't do that on X. No, we're still going to do the live shows on YouTube and X at the same time. Don't worry. We're still going to do the live shows on YouTube and X at the exact same time. YouTube is not going anywhere. We're still doing both of them every single night. We're keeping YouTube and X, obviously. Now, the next news to go through on today's live show is regarding El Salvador. El Salvador was recently compromised, and by compromised, I mean their Bitcoin wallets were compromised. El Salvador's Bitcoin wallet hit by criminals, cyber criminals, source code leaked. And we're going to get into how bad this really is. El Salvador's Chivo Bitcoin wallet faces a major breach with source code and VPN details leaked, impacting nearly 5.1 million users are now impacted on their crypto wallets in El Salvador. 5.1 million users are compromised right now. Chivo, El Salvador's state-owned Bitcoin wallet, has fallen victim of a cybersecurity breach. According to reports on April 23rd, 2024, parts of the wallet's source code and VPN access credentials were as a result published by a team of hackers on Cyber Intelligence SV. This is just another episode of cybersecurity challenges facing the Chivo wallet, which emerged earlier this month when the personal information of about 5.1 million Salvadorians was published. The hackers revealed the details on Beach Form, a rather infamous form mainly used by individuals that engage in cyber crimes. The data also exposed and compromises not only the code but also VPN credentials that could help an unauthorized person to access the network that controls the Chivo ATMs through the country. El Salvador's government response to breach. The Salvadorian government has not officially responded to the breach yet. This silence is causing greater worry among the public and observers regarding the measures that have been implemented to protect classified information. El Salvador's government is very, very quiet regarding this massive cyber attack. The Chivo wallet was launched in September 2021, in line with El Salvador's revolutionary plan to legalize Bitcoin as an official currency to promote financial exclusivity and reduce dependency on traditional banking systems. Although the Chivo wallet is an interesting approach, this digital wallet has encountered several technical problems since its release, and the recent breach have only added to the public worries about the safety and reliability of the government's digital finance initiatives. Impact on Salvadorian users. Leaking of the codes and VPN details of the source code poses a major threat to the integrity of the Chivo wallet system, making it possible for the hackers to take control or gain unauthorized access to the users' accounts. 5.1 million users are compromised, just for perspective. Nearly the whole adult population of El Salvador is affected by, particularly of their personal data exposed previously before as well, which causes fears of possible identity theft, fraud among the population. These breaches have been criticized by security experts who advise users to be watchful and monitor their accounts in case there are any signs of odd behavior. The implications that incompetence of El Salvador's financial ecosystem might take a significant hit are also considerable, as coincidence in the government-provided digital solutions may wane. Now, I'll tell you what's interesting. El Salvador actually said to the IMF multiple times. So last year, the International Monetary Fund told El Salvador to, if they want to borrow, they shouldn't be going towards Bitcoin, essentially. They shouldn't be going towards Bitcoin in any sort of a way and should stay away from Bitcoin. And the International Monetary Fund will give them some money for debt purposes. They rejected it. And the International Monetary Fund again said to them, come back to the US dollar. and then they rejected it again and again and again and again. The recent one was a week back, where the International Monetary Fund bribed El Salvador, let's say in a way, and said, we'll essentially give you the money you need for your country. Just drop the cryptocurrency, drop Bitcoin, and come back to the US dollar. And El Salvador said no. About a week before this happened. Just, bit of a coincidence. The International Monetary Fund putting humongous pressure on El Salvador to drop their Bitcoin regulations, to drop the idea of Bitcoin holdings. Since last year, they started nagging them, and about a week before, they gave them a nice little deal on the table, and still got rejected. And then this happens, where 5.1 million wallet users in El Salvador are now compromised. A wallet that was a government-designed wallet. Interesting. The International Monetary Fund does have quite a bit of power as well, and a lot of money to play around with. But interesting timing. They didn't listen, and now they're compromised. 5.1 million users. Okay, guys, I will contact Coinbase customer support. Thank you. No problem call. Let's go. Shelly, that was a good idea regarding customer service. Hello, CMF. I missed the news why HBAR is rocketing. Yes, you missed the news why HBAR is rocketing. Commenters, good to see you. How you doing? The reason why HBAR was rocketing was because of Arch. So Arch is essentially a company, a platform based inside the United Kingdom that has decided to bring the MMF onto the tokenizations from BlackRock and connect it to essentially HBAR. Now, just to put perspective, it's not a partnership. It's not a direct partnership between BlackRock and HBAR Foundation. It's a semiconductor partnership through Arch, which is a British platform that has a connect to BlackRock. So it's more of a loop partnership than a direct partnership. But again, it's a massive partnership still, in any sort of way. It's a massive green light. It's going to bring a lot of adoption for HBAR. It's going to bring a lot of purpose for HBAR, massive green light in either way you look at it, even though if it is a loop partnership rather than a direct partnership, amazing, absolutely amazing what they've achieved. It also does show why HBAR was now at the World Economic Forum. Now we know why the reason HBAR was at the World Economic Forum. Why HBAR was sitting alongside Ripple and Stellar at the recent World Economic Forum that happened in 2024, at the beginning of the year. Everything inside the corporate section is a coordinated move. So, but now we know why they were at that attending that meeting essentially. But commenters, good to see what you do. But that's regarding the HBAR situation, which is massive green light. But it also does show that we can have essentially other projects on the tokenization build as well. It's not just going to be one project. So just because, for example, BlackRock has chosen Ethereum to go ahead with, it doesn't mean BlackRock is going to stay with Ethereum on tokenizations throughout their entire lifetime. It also does show that they can expand in different ways through their subsidiaries, let's say, to other chains, which is the second point, which is good as well. Why do we do this and pass new law? Why do we do this, pass new law? Yeah. Now, BlackRock versus real world tokens. Basically. So, to go through this as well. So we went through the what's happening around the world, El Salvador situation, which isn't great for them. And we talked about Ripple's president as well regarding ODL sales, where Ripple doesn't sell any XRP. Technically, they sell it through Singapore. And it's under Singaporean law. Now, but at the end of the live show, just like always, we'll go through everything we talked about. So, we get to the BRICS news. BRICS eyes stablecoins. CBDC bridge to advance financial integration. Sergio, Russia's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, in an interview said that BRICS nations are considering the adoption of stablecoin transactions and a platform for CBDC payments to boost financial integration. What happened? This development comes aimed at growing efforts by the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, to reduce their reliance on the US dollar and the global commerce. The BRICS concept of a stablecoin is a digital currency pegged to a stable asset like a national currency or a basket of currencies, is an interesting one. The stability would make it reliable medium for international complexities and fees associated with traditional cross-border payments. According to Sergio, other options being explored include the creation of a BRICS bridge, a platform that would integrate the digital currency systems of central banks within the member states. Additionally, discussions are underway regarding the unification of national financial messaging systems. Sergio also detailed out the ambitious plan for Russia's chairmanship, which includes over 250 events focusing on politics, security, economics, finance, humanitarian efforts, and our championships aims to forfeit the BRICS role on the global stage, ensuring that every member contributes significantly to our collective agenda. The possibility of unifying national financial messaging systems is also being discussed. Now, also regarding what they said, regarding what Russia said, how everybody will be chiming in equally, which I think is a great idea. NATO, America is the only one putting the effort in regarding money coming into NATO. Everybody else in NATO is just slacking off. America is the only one coming in with the money regarding NATO, and that shouldn't be. It should be more like 50-50 regarding everybody. Just, something there. Now, beyond economics, Russia's chairmanship will also focus on boosting scientific and cultural collaborations. We are fostering direct contacts between BRICS, science parks, business incubators, and educational institutions to foster an environment of innovation, is what Sergio said. The cultural agenda is equally vibrant, with numerous exchanges planned to enrich the BRICS communities, socials, and artistics. The climax of Russia's BRICS chairmanship will be a summit in Kazan, anticipated to be a landmark event in the association history. Sergio expressed a high expectation for those summits, stating, Kazan will not only reflect the achievements of our chairmanship, but will also set the stage for a future cooperation among BRICS nations. The deputy minister emphasized the importance of this year's summit. It will underscore the public forming function of our chairmanship and highlighting the growth. This event is set to not just celebrate the past year's success, but also to forge the paths for future endeavors. So, massive BRICS event coming up very soon. And this massive BRICS event is going to be bringing quite a lot of things to light regarding what's actually happening inside the BRICS space. And they're saying it's going to be the biggest BRICS event to come about. So let's see how they do come about. But it is going to be essentially one event I really want to be informed about of what's actually happening. Because I want to see what projects are involved. Because when they said basket of currencies are going to be backing one asset, I want to know what that one asset is regarding basket of currencies. Now, sorry about that. SEC asks for comments on BlackRock's amended spot Ethereum ETF proposal. The US Securities and Exchange Commission is asking for public comments on changes made to BlackRock's proposed spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds. The world's largest asset manager is essentially allowing others for a spot Ethereum ETF through optimize that one could get the SEC's green light in the next months, essentially, regarding Ethereum ETFs. Now, BlackRock filed for its spot Ethereum ETF in November 2023, naming it the iShares Ethereum Trust, and said it seeks to reflect generally the performance of the price of Ether. In January, the SEC delayed making a decision on BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF, on BlackRock Spot Ethereum ETF, and on April 19th, the Nasdaq filed an amendment to the proposal. The Commission is publishing this notice to solicit comments on the proposed rule change, as modified by Amendment Number 1, from interested persons. The SEC said filing on Tuesday. Comments will be posted on the SEC's website on a due essentially in 21 days, the agency said. The details. In the amendment filing, the exchange discussed the ETF's creation, redemption process, and said baskets are only issued or redeemed if exchanged for an amount of cash determined by the trustee on each day that the Nasdaq is open for regular trading. This differs from the original filing from November, which says the process would involve Ether. And that's the interesting part. Regarding the Ethereum ETFs, we can't have Ether to Ether. It has to be cash to Ether, essentially, or fiat to Ether, essentially. It cannot be Ether to Ether. Same thing with Bitcoin. Cannot be Bitcoin to Bitcoin. It has to be some sort of cash or some sort of assets other than Bitcoin. Now, Standard Chartered, on the other hand, Standard Chartered Bank reverses its stance and now says SEC unlikely to approve these spot Ethereum ETFs in May. So BlackRock is optimistic. JP Morgan actually came out and said, we don't care what the SEC says regarding Ethereum. We're still going to go ahead. Interesting enough. Standard Chartered, on the other hand, is saying, we changed our minds. We don't think the Ethereum ETF is going to be approved in May in any sort of a way. Maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months later is what Standard Chartered is essentially saying. So Standard Chartered Bank, previously optimistic, has now changed its stance on spot Ethereum exchange traded funds, saying the US Securities and Exchange Commission is unlikely to approve such funds in May. We had previously expected the SEC to approve Ethereum ETFs on May 23rd. Head of Standard Chartered Bank Forex and Digital Assets Research wrote on the report on Tuesday, so today. This was based on the view that the Ethereum approval process would follow in a similar trajectory to BTC ETF approvals, which the SEC granted in January, and that the constructive dialogue would take place between the SEC and the ETF applications. As it did in the lead up to the BTC ETF approvals, so far, however, no such dialogue has occurred, or at least been made public, suggesting that a May 24th approval date is unlikely, is what Standard Chartered Bank said, because it was set around May 23rd. Previously they did say months back, May 23rd is when we get closer to the Ethereum ETF, yes. Turns out to be no news whatsoever regarding Ethereum ETFs. But, JP Morgan said, we don't care, we're still going to go ahead. BlackRock said, we're waiting for the approval, we're optimistic. Standard Chartered Bank is now saying, we're not that optimistic anymore. So let's see how it goes. Now, early Tuesday, the SEC delayed making a decision on spot Ethereum ETF proposal from Franklin Templeton and Grayscale, pushing the timeline on Franklin Templeton's ETF to June 11th and Grayscale's ETF to June 23rd, after which the regulator could approve, disapprove, or institute proceedings. Now, also to go through, Venezuela. So Venezuela has went through some issues regarding the sanctions the US put on them, regarding selling oil. Regarding oil trades. Venezuela has decided to take a chapter out of Russia's books by using USDT. This is just going to give the US more fuel to go against Tether. The US is not a big fan of Tether in any sort of a way at all. And I think because Russia keeps on using Tether, and now Venezuela, again, avoiding sanctions, using Tether, other countries like Iran are also using USDT, North Korea also using USDT. Any country that's pretty much sanctioned by America is using USDT as an alternative to do trades. It's going to get to a part where the US might even turn around somewhere down the line, big might, that they might start sanctioning off USDT or Tether of the company. And the US could turn around one day and say, we sanction the company Tether. Nobody that wants to operate inside the US markets is allowed to use Tether. Tether has been sanctioned because too much illicit activities, too many countries avoiding our sanctions using USDT. For example, Russia, North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, and the list goes on. So it can come up to a stage where, Tether becomes sanctioned, let's say. But I mean, this is not factual information in any sort of way. The rest of the stuff I said was all factual because it was based on data. This one is just based on what I keep on seeing on the news. The US hates Tether. We have the US Treasury trying to go after Tether multiple times. We have the US government. We have the S&P 500. The S&P 500 did a study test on cryptocurrencies, on stablecoins. And the S&P 500, the S&P Global, gave a rating on stablecoins. Tether, USDT, biggest stablecoin in the crypto market, got the worst rating as a stablecoin from the S&P Global, which is essentially the S&P 500. I mean, they got the worst rating as a stablecoin, and then the number one rating. And it's because the study test was American, USDT, Tether, North American. So already there is some conflict of interest there, and then if this keeps on arising regarding USDT, they could come to a stage where they just say, we sanction Tether. and that won't be good. So the oil industry in Venezuela will soon be back under US sanctions after a 6-month pause. The economic impact has reportedly driven the South American nation to accelerate its adoption of cryptocurrencies in oil tradings. Additionally, PDVSA is they're spearheading to cryptocurrencies right now because Venezuela is about to go back into sanctions and they can't do oil trades, and they're spearheading into cryptocurrencies, mainly USDT. Additionally, PDVSA is reportedly requiring any new customers conducting oil transactions to hold cryptocurrencies in a digital wallet. Venezuela is already telling whoever they do business with, if you want to do business, if you want to do oil trades, you better have some USDT, or we're not doing oil trades with you. They're telling their customers, their clients, or whoever they are from around the world, if you want some oil, you better have some cryptocurrencies. The move by PDVSA may be driven more by the convenience than a strategy, as Tether, the blockchain platform underlying USDT, has a track record, and that is true as well. The part I'm about to read next, it is true. Tether does have a track record of blocking and blacklisting wallets. Okay, Tether has full capabilities of blacklisting wallets if anybody's doing illicit activities. It is quite, and no, it is a public blockchain, correct, but it is quite difficult to track that many amount of wallets. Because, for example, Russia did roughly 2 billion transactions in Tether before some wallets were blacklisted. But they were able to do roughly 2 billion transactions, $2 billion worth of transactions before some wallets were, blacklisted. So it's quite difficult to keep track of that many wallets, even if you do have bots working 24/7. So, convenience and strategy, as Tether, the blockchain platform underlying USDT, has a track record of blocking crypto addresses that are identified by law enforcement agencies as owned by sanctioned individuals. In fact, more bans were enforced just today, which is also true. Tether does go around and block all these addresses. But Tether also has other issues where they print money out of thin air. And if you thought the US government was the only people on this planet that magically print money, if you thought the US government was the only person on this planet that magically prints money, you're quite mistaken. Tether also prints magical money as well. I'm not saying because it's crypto, because I'm saying it because it's Tether. Because we don't know what's backing Tether. We don't know what's backing USDT. Nobody on this planet knows what's backing USDT. And USDT recently printed another billion USDT. Tether recently printed another billion USDT recently. And Tether's excuse for printing 1 billion USDT with no backings was, even if we don't even know if they have backings for the previous ones, but this one was with no backings. And Tether said, in the most simplest way, we're printing this 1 billion USDT for a rainy day. You printed 1 billion USDT for a rainy day, for a day you might need it. And then you said, I'm going to put it on the sidelines. First of all, it could disappear from the sidelines. And second of all, it's cryptocurrencies. It's one line of code, a press of a button. And you have, voila, 1 billion USDT tokens. Why do you need to print it now for something that you might need on a rainy day? Why not just print it on the rainy day? It takes 5 seconds. So that raises more questions on Tether. Now, Tether respects the Office of Foreign Assets Control, the OFAC SDN list, and it commits to working to ensure sanctions addresses are frozen promptly. And according to June analyst, Tether has voluntarily blocked 1,400 USDT addresses, freezing over $1 billion in funds. That was obviously before Russia got 2 billion squeezed out of it, Iran squeezed a couple of billion out of it, North Korea squeezed a couple of millions to $1 billion out of it. A lot more illicit activities happened, and then Tether decided to block some accounts. And apparently they are working with the Secret Service. They say they're working with the Secret Service, is the way we should be phrasing the sentence. Knowing Tether, it's they say, because we never know. I mean, people and the S&P Global multiple times asked Tether, essentially, what is your backings? A lot of people have asked Tether, what is your backings? And Tether goes US bonds. Cool. We get it. US bonds. Amazing. Can we see them? No. Okay. They got a guy in America who sells, who's the 25th person that sells US bonds in America. This person is the 25th person who sells US bonds in America. This guy came out of nowhere and said, to calm everybody down, I've seen Tether's US bonds because I sell them US bonds. Fair enough. But again, it's just a random part. I get the part you're coming out to protect Tether's integrity. But wouldn't it just be easier if Tether goes, this is what we back it with, than having the 25th person that sells US bonds randomly come out one day and go, I've seen their backings, it's real. Great, you've seen them. Maybe we should see them also, because we're the ones using the currency on a 24/7 basis. The retail section. Also a lot of countries as well. So I get it that you've seen it, but maybe the rest of us want to see it also. So those are some issues with Tether if you didn't know about it. Now you know. One day, if it turns out Tether's just backing their currency with oxygen, could come to reality. Or we never get. We might not even get to that day. Maybe Tether continues on forward, just printing oxygen. But it's also, USDC has issues as well. USDC has issues of depegging in the past. So USDC has issues of depegging, and again, USDC's second stablecoin in the crypto space had issues of depegging in the past. USDT has issues of full transparency because we don't know what's backing it, and they keep on printing more USDT. And they used to print a lot more on the Tron network, which again is not favorable for the United States. The United States hates the Tron network and essentially calls it for illicit activities 24/7. And again, I'm not taking sides on the US, I'm not taking sides with Tether or any sort of way. I just don't like it when companies aren't full transparent. I don't like the idea where companies, don't want to become full transparent, especially in crypto. For you not to be transparent in crypto raises millions of questions. I get it if you're a private company. If you're a private company, keep your stuff private. Fair enough. But if you're a company, essentially operating on blockchain and you're not a private chain, essentially, you're public, then why not just show the public what you're backing it with? That's the part that raises questions. Now let's go to the comment section as well. If you have any question, put it down inside the comment section. BlackRock versus, yep. Miles, what do you think about core and internet computer cryptos? Good. Are you talking about specific projects or just talking in general? Singapore, SG has strict laws. Yes, they do. Any country not part of the central banking system, Miles? Any country not part of the system of the bank, of the central bank system. So any country not part of the Bank of International Settlements is what you're trying to say. Yes. Technically, there's only 63 banks under the Bank of International Settlements, including G20 countries. There's a lot more than 63 countries. So, yeah, there's quite a bit of them. But the major ones are all under the Bank of International Settlements, including BRICS countries. Well, the eyes don't see, the brain don't know about. Which, fair point. Fair point. Now, I just want to read you this as well. Here is a way that a lot of people use, a lot of wealthy people use to clean their crypto, let's say. US charities see boom in crypto donations, raises $2 billion. US charities have raised $2 billion in cryptocurrencies. The charities raised $2 billion, which, good. Depends how you look at it. And I'll tell you why. The US non-profits that are forerunners in the crypto donations are attributing to a large spikes in charitable contributions. According to a recent report by Bankless Times, the two largest charities in the United States of America have already raised over $2 billion for the year by accepting these digital assets. So just from accepting cryptocurrencies, they've received $2 billion in cryptocurrencies so far as a charitable donations. Adoption of crypto in charitable giving. Jonathan Mary, the CEO of Bankless Times, is on an essentially commitment where digital currencies have been known to fundamentally govern the power of influence. Digital currencies produce this event because people with a lot of value tend to invest in charities. Keywords here are people with a lot of value tend to invest in charities that are meaningful to them. This movement is not only for established charitable organizations, it also covers the new platforms that social enterprises are forming. Political candidates also now use cryptocurrency donations in the course of their campaign issues. Bankless Times reports the share of US top non-profits that facilitate the receipts of crypto donations. And by the way, these are non-profits, okay? So non-profits. Keyword here again, non-profits. Receipts of crypto donations directly via crypto processing systems accounts for 56%. This direct money transfers through the crypto pockets will save the charities the time of the rather complex money transfers, thus accelerating the money flow process. The integration has simplified the donation processes, which, along with the flexibility of digital giving, has made it even more convenient for the pledges. Popular organizations like Save the Children, keyword here, popular organizations like Save the Children charity. Everybody's heard of the Save the Children charity. The World Vision International, Water Aid US, and the American Red Cross have commenced accepting crypto donations. This approach has been quite useful for charities as they are now able to raise funds through several fundraising methods and reach a wider audience, thus finding new sources of fundings. While non-profits, again, the same word being used, non-profits acceptance of cryptocurrencies is on the rise of charities accepting cryptocurrencies, major big charities. It does come with its challenges. Charities need to navigate complex regulatory landscapes, including compliance with KYC. Again, there's multiple keywords here. And the other keyword that we're coming up to is KYC. Obviously, know your client. So, you want to make a donation, you have to do KYC according to these charities. And anti-money laundering laws, which means AML, in other words. So, if you're making a donation, you're doing KYC, therefore it's not money laundering because, you're doing KYC. These regulations ensure the legitimacy of the financial transactions and the security of the financial system. Now, you might be thinking, well, this is all good. They're doing KYC, so they know where the donations are coming from. There's no money laundering going on in these charities. Yeah, a few things they forgot to mention. For example, you can make anonymous donations using cryptocurrencies. So if you make an anonymous donation using cryptocurrencies, no KYC. The second thing they forgot to mention is non-profits. You see how that word was used multiple times. Non-profits, non-profits, non-profits. Just to give you a perspective, Save the Children charity. Save the Children charity? Yeah, the CEO of Save the Children charity, according to his, how much he gets paid, non-profit charity, by the way, and his reports from 2019. Now, above 2019 haven't been published anymore. The last report of what this man was making at Save the Children charity, the CEO of Save the Children, his last wages, that was the ones that published to the public, was 2019. After 2019, pretty much faded, and the numbers essentially disappeared, let's say. But we do have the information from 2019. His wages was $2.38 million. The CEO of Save the Children charity, his yearly annual wage essentially was sitting around $2.38 million. Now, why does a CEO of a non-profit charity need to be earning $2.38 million? What is difficult for him to be earning $2.38 million? So these are the things they always forget to mention when it comes to charities. They mention non-profitable charities. We're only here to help people. And then you have your CEO earning $2.38 million. Also, the CEO of the UK charity, Save the Children, is earning $140,000. Even that is too much. For a CEO of a charity to be earning $140,000 is way too much. Way too much. $140,000 for a CEO of a charity. That's for the UK one, Save the Children. But the American one, $2.38 million. $2.38 million. That is your wages. That's absolutely ridiculous of a charity. Now, the other charities decided not to post what they earn. I'm guessing they don't want the same embarrassment this man had, because whoever the CEO was, after 2019, it wasn't published anymore. 2019 was the last time they published how much this person was earning, because it didn't work out too well after this. But yeah, just from perspective, again, they're saying non-profits, BS. Non-profits, yeah, sure. Let's just all pretend it's non-profits while your CEO is earning $2.38 million. And regarding also KYC, everybody that does a donation to these charities, Save the Children, Water Aid, they have to do KYC, so there's no money laundering. You have to put down your full name, your address, where your crypto is coming from. And then they forget to mention, if you do anonymous donations, no KYC. Just anonymous. Now, charities typically are used for two purposes. One, to tax write-offs. Charities are the number one ways to do tax write-offs as well. Two, to clean. To clean is another method. I'm not going to go into detail of what I mean by clean. But if you wanted to clean your crypto and you have a dodgy CEO that's earning $2.38 million of Save the Children charity, and you're a quite wealthy person and you wanted to clean some crypto, you could go to that dodgy CEO and clean some crypto with him. Why go through the effort of going through Tornado, which was a private blockchain, which got scrutiny from the SEC for creating a blender where your crypto enters the blender, comes out the other side different, and it's hard to track these cryptos. That's why Tornado went through that issue. And they said Tornado was used for money laundering purposes, Tornado. But then charities have been in the game longer. And now this isn't to discourage all charities. There's probably some good charities out there, mainly the smaller ones. I would say the smaller charities, much, much more smaller charities, are the actual people doing some good work. The actual people doing some good work, the smaller charities. The larger ones, we can see from the CEO with a $2.38 million wage. But charities have always been around, and they've always been around for either tax write-offs or cleaning. But you see how they, miss to put some keywords in there on if it's a non-profit, why is that person earning 2.3 million? If you have to do KYC, then why is the anonymous donations no KYC? These are things they always forget to mention in these kinds of things. I've always said, if you want to help someone, don't give to charity. I've always said this. Don't give to charity. If you want to help someone, go and buy some food, give it to a homeless person. If you want to help someone, don't give money to a charity. Never give it to a big charity, especially. If you want to help someone, donate your clothes, maybe to the homeless, buy food for the homeless yourself directly. But do not give it to these massive corporations when the CEO of Save the Children, who's supposed to be feeding the children and looking after them, is earning $2.3 million. I was talking their projects. The project is essentially that. Okay, direct message me a call. Disgusting. Going, yeah, this definitely. Miles, it's like all these charities in Canada. I know I'm on board of one of them, and it's a shock to me. I'm a volunteer and I don't get gas money. That's horrible. Such a, and it's, Susan, it's people like you, Susan, that are actually doing the good work. People like Susan who are volunteering. The people that volunteer in these charities actually think they're bringing a difference, and they are. They're feeding people, they're looking after people, but then the people on top of them are just making money over hand over fist. Hand over fist, they're making money. The volunteers are the good-hearted people. The actual volunteers are the good-hearted people. Like Susan, who's actually volunteering her time to help some people in need. But the people sitting on top of Susan and the person sitting on top of the other people and the other people, and it's just one pyramid scheme of just cleaning and tax write-offs. Non-profits mean they don't pay their taxes. Is that correct? Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Thought so. Thanks, Chief. And I'm on board. I have attended board meetings. I have do fundraising events. It takes up a lot of time. I get zero. See, it makes me 6 figures. Really, it's basically administration for them. You see how ridiculous that is? And don't give to Opera and The Rock. Yeah, definitely don't donate to Opera and Rock. That was the most moronic video I ever saw of Opera and The Rock telling people give some money to them for to save Hawaii, which made no sense whatsoever. 2 millionaires coming on the screen and saying, "Can you give us some money so we can help these poor people out?" Essentially, makes no sense. It's like Bill Gates coming on TV and saying, "I need some money if anybody wants to donate to me because I want to help 100 people out." It makes no sense. Why Opera or The Rock even thought that was a smart, intelligent idea? And essentially, easiest way to look at it is, if Opera has money to buy land in that particular country, if Opera has money to buy land, if The Rock has money to buy land in that country and build homes, they definitely have money to feed the homeless. They're just two morons. I made a depression presentation, have to dress up, drive there. I get nothing for it. That's fine. It's a great cause, but it's ridiculous. Yep. It was the dumbest thing, honestly, regarding Opera and The Rock. But yeah, absolutely. Use your own money. They have plenty. Facts. Opera's a billionaire. Yep. And they're coming to the other people, to say, "Can you give us some money? How about you give us some money?" How's Opera coming on TikTok and saying, "Donate money to us so we can help and feed these people"? How about you give us some money instead of we giving you money? The cheek on these people is ridiculous. Now, we've also come up to the endings of this live show. I just want to say, amazing live show, honestly. Even though we did have that issue of me saying too much about a certain topic regarding the banking sector, and then that change happened inside the live show, but we kept the flow going. So I just want to say, honestly, thank you so much to every single one of you. If you, by the way, if you enjoyed this live show, you can tune into this live show every single night where we talk about what's happening around the world. Essentially, it's like a late crypto live show that you can tune in. If you're the type of person that can't sleep at night, depending on where you're living around the world, I'm in London right now and it's 1:15 a.m. So if you're the type of person that can't sleep at night, depending on what country you're in, tune into this live show as well. Amazing live show to be in. And we talk about what's happening around the world, how we're shifting into a digital era, and we talk about the politics, the finance aspects about it, and so on, and things that you should know if you're living in this world. And also we do Q&As, which means if you have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have during any of these live shows. This is episode 36 of the CMF live show. Stands for Crypto Master Family, which, by the way, we also have a Telegram group as well if anybody wants to join, completely free. Everything I provide is free of source, so don't worry. The Telegram link is inside my X profile and also on my YouTube channel as well, because this live show right now is live on YouTube and X. So yeah, if you enjoy this live show, drop a follow on X if you're watching on X. Subscribe to me on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, and tune in every single night and communicate with the CMF members inside the comment section. If you're watching from YouTube or X, communicate with everybody. They're absolutely amazing. Every single person inside the CMF is absolutely amazing. You know, we have people from all around the world, different backgrounds, different jobs, and everybody respects each other inside the Telegram group as well. Everybody respects each other inside the Telegram group, so it's a great place to be in, honestly. Clintons apparently took the multi-millions given to Haiti and set up a foundation years ago. I mean, the Clintons are just laughable, is what they are. Thank you, Miles, for your support. Mike, let's go. No problem, brother. Anytime. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Or see you tomorrow sometime as usual. This was amazing. Thank you so much, Parker. Honestly, thank you, Parker. No problem. Anytime. Tune in tomorrow if you want, you know. Tune in every single night. I do this every single night. I've been doing this. This is episode 36 of the CMF live show. We used to do this on TikTok every single night for over a year. But now we do it on X and YouTube only because Elon Musk has given me this freedom of essentially to be able to say what I want. So on X, I have freedom of speech. This is why I love X. This is why we do the live show on X. On TikTok, I used to get banned on TikTok talking about what governments are actually doing and what's actually happening around the world. Whenever I used to talk about what's actually happening around the world on TikTok, TikTok will ban me on live. However, because of Elon Musk, I can say whatever I want on X. I can tell you how it really is on X. This is why I love X. This is why we're going to stick these X live shows, and we're also going to have these YouTube live shows as well at the same time as we're having right now. Susan, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Parker, no problem, brother, anytime. Tune in tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Thanks, Miles, for another enjoyable and informative live as normal. Adi, let's go. See you tomorrow sometime as usual. Fantastic, Miles, as always, brother. Let's go. Dazzle. Let's go see you tomorrow, brother. Tune in whenever you can, Dazzle, honestly. It's great to have you. I've enjoyed my time here tonight, Miles. Thank you, and good night to you and the CMF. Troy, see you tomorrow, brother, sometime as usual. Thank you, bro. Pedro X, no problem, anytime. Tune in tomorrow sometime as usual. Good night, Miles and family. Great live. Have a good one. Let's go, Ian. Ian, see you tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Thanks, Miles. I will see everyone tomorrow. Dennis, see you tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Miles, I sent you a DM. If you get a time, can you check when we're done, please? Yes, definitely, Shelly. I'll check out the DM. So, once again, if you enjoyed this live show, drop me a follow on YouTube and tune in tomorrow, same time as usual. Drop me a follow on X if you're watching on X, and tune in tomorrow, same time as usual. Thank you a bunch. Lena, let's go. No problem. See you tomorrow, Lena, same time as usual. I'm guessing you got a lot of likes as well. And I just want to say the outro that I always do on this live show, which is thank you so much to every single one of you that's been tuning in tonight and every other single night as well. If you're new as well, welcome to the CMF Live Show. Thanks so much to everybody that's been tapping on the screen on X and tapping on the screen on YouTube. It does really help to spread the live show. And thanks so much to everybody that's been communicating and engaging in the comment section as well. I will be seeing everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world as well. Have a great day, Shelly. That's what he said. Good night and CMF, Miles. Let's go. Dazzle, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. I'm glad you stuck around. Miles is unbelievably knowledgeable and will answer any questions you have. Join our Telegram group as well. Let's go. Shelly spreading the word on the CMF. Let's go, Shelly. And Parker, welcome to the CMF as well. Anybody else that followed me as well, welcome to the CMF. Thanks, Miles. Stormy, let's go. No problem. See you tomorrow, Stormy, same as usual as well. Lena, you have 25,514 likes. Lena, thank you so much for 25,514 likes. That's incredible. Honestly, Lena, thank you so much for 25,514 likes. The reason I'm saying it so much is because that's incredible. Thank you so much, Lena, for that many amount of tapping on the screen on the live show on X. Genuinely mean it. Thank you so much. Have a good night, brother. See you tomorrow sometimes you as well. Stormy, see you tomorrow sometimes you as well, Stormy. Great love as always, Miles. Thanks everyone. Good night or good day to all. CMF on X and YouTube. Bye guys. Let's go, Shelly. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Shout out to Lean on X. Definitely shout out to Lean on X. Definitely.